So now we're all sexist. Oh my goodness. So I came across this Game Rant article regarding the controversy surrounding Mary Jane. And basically what the article is essentially saying is that, hey, everyone who disagrees or dislikes Mary Jane in Spider-Man 2, well, we're all just sexist. It's as simple as that. We're sexist, misogynistic pigs. Simple as that. That's what this drivel of an article basically surmises of everyone who feels this way. It starts off by saying that, hey, people are upset that Mary Jane looks old and that she's unattractive. And here's the thing. Those are two very different things. Now, I would argue the majority of people, would say she looks old. But that doesn't mean that by default, that she's unattractive or she's less attractive, because there are plenty of older women that are just as attractive or even more attractive than younger women. Like, we're not talking about pearly things here. We're not getting into the whole manosphere talk, right? That's not what this is about at all. But that's what the article tries to start off by saying. Then it gets worse by trying to go into the explanations of why the model looks the way it does. First one is that they're saying that, hey, well, Insomniac already said it's the same model. Oh, well, I guess that settles it. That's it. Done. Back up your bags, everybody. Insomniac said it's the same model. Bruh, listen, I don't even care if it is the same model. If that's what you want to argue, if that's what you want to argue, that, hey, it's the same model, it's just the lighting that's causing her to look different, by all means, okay? Even though I actually have access to the game model, okay? I took it into Maya, and I try to replicate the angles of the stills from the trailer. And you know what? I don't know, call me crazy, but it doesn't seem to line up. It seems that it's a different model, that maybe that was the base model and they changed it in some way, shape, or form. But sure, Insomniac says the game, it's the game model. In Insomniac we trust, so therefore it's the game model, okay? If Insomniac says, that the earth is flat, then sure, the earth is flat. Then this author tries to say that, hey, you guys have to understand that hairstyles, okay, drastically affect the appearance of people. And I'm thinking to myself, this dude has got to be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I tried looking up what this dude looks like, couldn't find anything. All he has is a little dumb little avatar of himself. And I'm just like, that's probably the best decision you've probably ever made in your life, okay? You've ever made in your life. Because I want you to understand what he's implying. That women, upon putting their hair down, age themselves at least a decade. Okay? So, the inverse of that would be that if all the women who have their hair down, they simply put their hair up, okay, that it would take 10 years off of how they look. That is the most asinine, borderline retarded thing I've heard in 2023 thus far. Okay, in regards to gaming. That's the dumbest take I've ever heard in my life. They are trying to gaslight us into making us believe that we're not looking at what we're looking at. Okay? This is some crazy brainwashing that they're attempting to do on people who aren't satisfied or who dislike the drastic aging that they've done of Mary Jane.
Afraid to look ugliness in the face? Well, here! Look at it! It's ugly, isn't it? You look at it!
He then brings up, the face of Peter and whatnot. And here's the thing. I get it. There's nothing we can do about Peter's face, okay? I heard Insomniac's take on why they changed Peter's face. You guys have put it in the comments. Lucas, check this video out. This is why it's dumb. It's bullcrap. It makes no sense. What they're trying to say is Bubniak is basically just disfigured. Okay? That his muscles don't really work the same way as everyone else's freaking anatomy works, which is nonsense. That defeats the purpose of motion capture. Never in the history of motion capture would you ever hear someone say such an asinine reason as to why they switched out the model. Okay? You're telling me that his face was good for the main game and all the DLCs, and just for some reason, they were just like, you know what? It's just not adding up. It added up during this whole entire time, and now y'all want to say, well, it just wasn't adding up, so we decided to change his face. That is bullcrap. The only people who buy that are people, I don't know, who wear a cap, all right, to school, and have a little spinny thing on top and go, those are the only people who are buying what Insomniac is selling.
Totally. Definitely didn't just make it up. See you in a few weeks, Spider-Man. New York's only Spider-Man.
Now, for me, I don't like the face. I already said that, but it is what it is. That's the face that we're left with. We just have to wait until it comes out on PC, and then we change it to whatever we like, okay? But in the meantime, between time, that's the face. I'm not complaining about the face. But nevertheless, I just thought I should put that in there because that's what he puts in his article. It gets to ludicrous speeds with the type of splaining that this person is attempting to do. This author goes on and says, and I kid you not, hey, all right, you want to know something? She doesn't look old. She looks exactly how she's supposed to look. She looks exactly how a 25-year-old girl is supposed to look, okay? You guys just don't know what real women look like. Now, I took that personally. As a man who is very fond of le femelle, okay, the le femelle, okay, I know what women look like, all right? I actually am an expert when it comes to age. I can spot women's ages very, very accurately, okay? We're talking about 2 to 3 years off. There is no way on God's green earth that she is a representation of a 25-year-old woman. No way, Jose, unless that person just has really piss poor genetics. There is no way that Mary Jane in Spider-Man 2 looks like she's 25. There's no freaking way. And I don't know why people are so trying to act like people are adverse to change. Nobody is adverse to change. Please stop with this false talking point, with this straw man argument. Oh, you guys don't like change. It's just a change. No, that's not the issue, right? Because when we saw Spider-Man across the Spider-Verse and then into the Spider-Verse or beyond the Spider-Verse, right? Miles changes. We understand that. But it's not such a gross deviation from where he started that people are going, whoa, who the heck is this? That's not how it works, especially in a span of 2 years, okay? That's the issue. When it comes to change, hey, God of War, his voice changed. Carson, to now we have an entirely new voice. His appearance changed. We are not adverse to change. That's not the issue, okay? The costume, Spider-Man changes. That's not the issue. There's a lot of change that has happened within gaming that we understand. We take with a grain of salt because it's a natural progression. However, the issue with this change is that it's not a natural progression, okay? She went from 22, 23 to now 34 to 35 within a span of 2 years or so. Now, I don't know what to tell you, but if that makes sense to you, then sure, by all means. I'm sure you probably have a lot of fun. I'm sure that your food selection is probably a lot. You have a very wide food selection because your standards are so low that you'll put anything in your mouth. And your brain is so slow that you'll accept anything that someone tells to you, unfortunately. But the cherry on top of this stupid sundae is when this author tries to say that, hey, you want to know something? Stress, okay? Stress. That's what happens. Stress, okay? I kid you not. They tried to explain away her looks via stress. Oh, Lord in heaven, that her being with Peter, right, being with a superhero, has stressed her out to the extent that she has aged rapidly, okay? Expeditiously, to the point where she looks now like a 35 to early 40-year-old woman. Hey, if that's the argument you want to present, by all means, knock yourself out. These mofos will be able to rationalize anything. You do little criticisms to the game where it's like, hey, I think this can be fixed. What do they say? Well, actually, that wouldn't make sense because Spider-Man, remember when we were talking about, well, why can't Spider-Man like touch the ground like other games? Why can't he just, put his hand on the gravel like they did in the cinematics? Well, actually, Lucas, okay, he's been Spider-Man for 8 years, so it doesn't make sense why he would hit the ground. They can explain away anything, bro. They can rationalize anything, like literally anything. They're so, like, these people are brain dead. They suffer from brain rot. Their brains are just round bowling balls. Because I don't know what to tell you. They're just dumb. Everything we got in Spider-Man, you want to know why we got it? Because people demanded it. If you don't like the word demand, then they requested it. Is that better for you? Okay, all right, little guy. All right, that's why. We requested it. That's how things get better. Fans request things based off the developer and what they can do and what's available technology-wise. They implement it, given on the time frame and what they as a developer want to do with this game. That's how that works. So sometimes the fan may come up with a great idea that, the developer didn't think of. Or they may just do it and implement it as like, kudos to the fan for even asking it. Because they're a fan of the work. They're a fan of the character. They're a fan of the franchise, of the game, of what you're working on. But to wrap this up, the doozer of this just drivel of an article is when this dude tries to compare Kratos. I kid you not. He tries to say, well, I don't see anyone complaining about Kratos being aged. And I'm thinking to myself, tell me you're not a gamer without telling me you're not a gamer. Or at least tell me you have no idea about Kratos and the franchise without telling me you have no idea about Kratos and the franchise. Do you understand how long it took between God of War 3 and the new God of War? Do you know the span of time that took on? Not 1 year, not 2 years, not 3 years, not 150 years. That's correct. Over 150 years. And let me say that if you, after 150 years, can look as good as Kratos, by all means, pimpin', there's nothing to complain about. I will get your name tatted on my arm if you, after 150 years, can look like Kratos. Miss me with this nonsense, all right? This whole try to say that it's sexism and it's misogyny. No, it's just that people notice that Mary Jane aged very rapidly. And in the span of 2 years, that doesn't make any sense. Especially when Peter doesn't seem to have aged that much, Miles doesn't seem to have aged that much, but Mary Jane clearly has hit a wall or something. So in fact, it's you guys who are the sexists and the misogynists. Because we're just stating, hey, that's not fair. What is causing her to age so rapidly while everyone else around her seems to be relatively the same age or slightly older than when we last left them? Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. Whether or not you believe. Ladies, you just complain. All you do is hate. You just hate the game. If you don't like the game, then don't buy the game. Leave Insomniac alone. And Insomniac we trust. They're doing so great, Lucas. Or, I swear some of these people would freaking be sucking off Brian Intihar if they could. I don't know why, but I think that's what they want to do. Or if you happen to believe, listen, this is how we progress as a gaming community, all right? People have eyes, and some of us have a functioning brain. So when we use them together, sometimes we form opinions off of old-ass Krusty Krab Mary Jane. That's how that works. That doesn't mean we hate the game, doesn't mean we're not going to buy it. Just means that we're critical of something that we love. Now, if we didn't love the game, or we didn't love the IP or the character, we wouldn't care. Because, whatever, don't care. So, it's actually the opposite. We care about something, so we criticize in hopes of making it better. You guys are the goofy ones. Nevertheless, if you happen to disagree, you're more than welcome to call in during Disagreement Day if you're not a coward. The days are usually Friday through Sunday. Okay, there'll be a number on screen. You call in, we duke it up. Duke it out, duke it up, whatever. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment. I'm sure you will. Subscribe. All that fun stuff. Till next time, guys. be amazing. She went from 22, 23 to now 34 to 35